Welcome, everybody, to episode 20 of the Next Generation of Superstars. We are very grateful to have Chuck Smith here, who is defensive line at Wofford College. He's originally from Suwanee, Georgia. Pleasure to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit more about your story growing up and how you kind of found your passion for the game of football.
Of course. So when I was growing up, my dad, he used to be in the league too. He played for the Falcons for 9 years. And so growing up in football household, football just kind of happened to be there. So but I'm like, it wasn't anything he put on me. It was more, I just found love for the game too. I really just enjoyed playing football, as growing up. I thought it was fun. It helped me build like friendships, you know what I'm saying? Like some like the longest lasting friends I have are from when I played like Pee Wee football. Really it's just that's what really like helped me get the passion into it. And then going into like more of a high school collegiate standpoint, because I'm like, some people lose that passion. I just never lost the passion for the game. I just always loved it.
I love it. That's awesome. And how was more of that support from your family and friends, when you were growing up, especially as you started to take it seriously and really go into high school and now at the collegiate level? Where did you see that support from your family and friends as you were going through everything in your career?
Like the biggest thing that I would always hear was people would always think that my dad, coming from the league, he would always be hard on me, like how like some parents are.
Right.
But really, he was more of like a mentor than anything to me. I'm like, anytime I had like any questions or I needed advice on anything, he was there for me, whether it was like on the field, off the field, he was there for me. And he was my biggest support system, along with my mom and my other family, of course. But like football wise, he was my biggest support. Whether it's like pushing me when I need to be pushed or when he like tells me like I need to like let certain things go, like when I'm hanging my head too low. I'm like, he's always kept me, not too high and not too low, which I really appreciate, because I'm like, that's more than I could ever ask for. I could never thank him enough for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And has there been any other, coaches or mentors, that you've had that's really helped you as you kind of perfect your craft?
Oh yeah, I would say so. In high school, my high school D-line coach named Coach Luke. It really took him to like believe in me because I'm like I forgot what statistic it is, but like from going to high school to college, there's only I think it was like 9% of people go.
Mhm.
And so it takes one person to believe in you. And he was like, and that level, in high school, that person to believe in me and push me out to all these coaches and stuff. So when I was getting recruited, I'm like, at the time I was really undersized for defensive end. I was like 225 pounds and only like 6'2", and that's like really skinny for that. I'm like, I should have been an outside back or something.
Right.
But he pushed me and he gave me the plan to like get bigger and stuff like that. And he told everyone to like believe in me, and in the end it'll all pay off. And it really did pay off. So I'm like, that's what. And then another guy, his name's two more coaches, like Coach Allen and Coach Bing, who they've both been D-line coaches here at Wofford. Coach Allen, he's now coaching at Georgia State right now. But Coach Bing and Coach Allen, they've been like since like I come to college, my dad describes it because he used to be a college coach too. He's like, yeah, when you're a college coach, it's like having like 10 sons, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, it's been like, I wouldn't say he's a father figure, no, not at all. But he's just like been a really good mentor.
Yeah. That's
I can go with him anything, especially in college, because it's a way different atmosphere than anything you've ever been in. And they always have the answer for me. And whether it's a good answer I want to hear or it's something I don't want to hear, but I need to hear, they're always there with the real information. I can never, thank them enough for that too. So
That's incredible. That's awesome. And I was going to ask, as you touched on that point, the atmosphere in college is very different than high school. How do you, how do you interact with your fans, and how do you kind of manage that atmosphere to best help you?
I really what it is I'm thankful because I'm like, without people supporting me in any kind of aspect, I wouldn't be anything. I wouldn't be who I am today. Without this, it's just more thankfulness than anything. You always gotta be grateful for what you have. It's just important to me. It's an integral foundation that I've had throughout my life, whether it's been high school or anything. I'm like, because if you're ungrateful for these people, I'm like, it could be easily just as taken away as it is given to you. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And even your community back home in Georgia, if you have any plans of giving back, or how do you kind of, see yourself and really, giving a helping hand and paying it forward to your community back home?
So even when I was back in my community back home, I would always help with these youth football camps, and whether it's just with kids in general doing football, I always help them out and coach whenever I can, because I'm like, kids, they see like a college guy, they're like, oh shoot, he's so big. I remember I was a little kid, I was looking at these kids like, dude, they're like 40 with a 401k, but
Right.
like now looking back, I'm like, it's just really fun to help. And then even along the lines of just being here in Spartanburg, away from my hometown of Suwanee, giving back to the community more of like just a community standpoint. I'm like, I've been around the community like so much, talking to like community members and stuff like that. And I've been just been grateful for them to like let me in their communities to help in any way I can, you know what I'm saying, and use my like influence or whatever I got to help in any way or aspect. So
Absolutely. Yeah. No, man, that's awesome. And Chuck, talk a little bit more about, the skills you've learned, just as your career so far at Wofford. What have those skills been, whether it's been on the field or off the field, that's kind of helped you, as an individual as you're growing?
I'm like on the field, I've gotten bigger. Like I said earlier, I weighed like 220 pounds coming in, and then I weigh like 260 right now. But like more importantly, off the field, I learned to be more of a leader. I'm like, to me, when I first thought about leading, I always thought it was like yelling, like a drill sergeant, something like that. But I feel like, but like I've learned now that leading is more, it's more than that.
Right.
It's like getting to know and have a relationship with the person, and then you can really be invested in them, and then they just get just as invested in you. And that's probably the biggest thing I've learned. But then along with that, I learned like just working together in teamwork, because I'm like in high school, I'm like, everyone before college, they're in high school, they're like the guy, they're like doing everything, they're like Superman coming to school. I feel like Superman was coming in, but then you come in, it's like 10 of you, you know what I'm saying? You learn that you got to be humble too. And that's a really important thing, And so,
No, definitely. Man, that's awesome, man. And how about, your teammates and the kind of the experience so far with them? How has that relationship and bond been with those teammates over these past 3 years?
it's been great. They've been like the best guys ever. I mean, like they've been like essentially like some of them like big brothers, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One guy's name's Tanner Barnes. And when I first got here, I mean, like I was, like I said, young pup, I was ready to attack the world
Right.
at first. And then, life humbles you real quick,
Yeah.
I remember my first practice here, again, 220, let's go against this guy his name was Chad Garner, right? Chad had a beard, looked like he had a 401k, was filing taxes already. And I remember that day in the shower, I was before practice, I was listening to my Ludacris, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm ready. Afterwards, I was playing like Adele. I was so down, right? But then, like I said, Tanner came, picked me up, you know what I'm saying? Told me that's just the name of the game. You'll get knocked down sometimes, but it's how you get up that really matters, And so all my teammates preach that, and it's been really like a family here at Wofford. I'm like, this has probably been like the biggest thing that I've loved so far. Like I can go to any guy, whether older or younger. I know they got my back with anything, whether it's school, football,
Right.
lifting, eating, anything. So
It's awesome. And that's a bond you'll have for life, be able to
yeah.
create that at such a young age. You touch a little bit on, being able to, get picked back up and go forward. I think especially the kids that look up to you and they see, how, athletes like yourself persevere through different failures or setbacks. What's helped you the most with your mentality to keep going forward and then get past those setbacks and really persevere?
Really what it is I remember there's a quote from Floyd Mayweather. He said, tough times don't last, tough people do. So when you really got to believe the mindset and you really got to believe in yourself, because I'm like, at the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself, how can someone else can, So that's always the first step to me. Um, and then I'm like, the time, like that's life is always you're always gonna get picked up and you always get knocked down too, I'm like, life's never easy like that. No one's ever had a speed run, easy way of life, but it's just, you got to get back up. That's just the best way, because if you stay down, then life is one, you've lost. But then once you get back up, that really shows like how defined the tenacity you have, so.
100%. And I love that quote said by Floyd, because it's so true, right? It's so impactful that tough people really do last, and those are the ones that are going to really get through and persevere and be able to tell that story when they look back on everything. There's been a huge moment, and I guess in all of sports history that's passed, being a student athlete during this time of the NIL, allowing athletes like yourself to monetize your NIL and really build a personal brand and actually get your name out there. What were your initial thoughts, and how did that kind of affect you when you saw in the summer of 2021 that the NIL has been legitimized?
I was hyped. I mean, like, it's one of those things where it's like, I feel like, to me, I've always felt like student athletes of any sport, I feel like they put their body on the line, whether it's like women's basketball, swimming, tennis, any kind of thing. They put their body and like mental state on the line anyways. And so, and I'm not saying they should get paid like $1 bajillion, like $1,000, like actual pro players. I'm saying like at least some kind of form of compensation that maybe help them out, because I'm like, end of the day, they are still college students, and like, unless you're getting like a big stipend, you're still going to be like, have those college student struggles, So even like the small NILs to like the bigger ones, I'm like, it really has changed the landscape and allows people like really revolutionize and brand themselves in a way that they want to be seen, and without like, I don't know, not conforming, but like trying to be like the same mold as everyone else. I'm like, you think about times past, I think about like what if like for example, like one of my favorite athletes, Cam Newton, what if that was around when he would have been one of the biggest dudes alive, you know what I'm saying? But due to the
Right.
rules, he couldn't really do that, So I think it's really game changing. I'm here for it, and like every year, even since like you said, like in the summer 2021, it's gotten like bigger and bigger, and like things have changed, you know what I'm saying? It's already impacted college sports in a tremendous way. And it's, to me, it's exciting.
Absolutely. And we're excited to be in this space and have you part of our Burst family. And that's something you touched on, is that, it's so crucial because we want to level the playing field. We want to help all student athletes across the nation, even globally, to gain that, awareness of their brand, to be able to connect more with their fans, gain multiple revenue streams. What have been your thoughts, and kind of now you're being more educated on the Web3 sports space? How has that, been for you transitioning into really learning about what we're doing over at Burst?
I'm like, when I first got into Burst, I was doing some research, and I looked at the athletes, you know what I'm saying, and I just looked at what you guys were about, the principles and stuff, and I was already sold once I read it, and I knew it was something I wanted to be a part of. That's why I reached out. I was like, yo, I want to be a part of this, you know what I'm saying? I was willing to send 10 emails, 20 emails, 30 emails, 50 DMs, whatever it took, because I'm like, it looked like something I really wanted to be a part of. And that was something I knew I was going to put my heart and mind to be a part of. It's one of those things you see, you're like, dang, I want to get what they got going on. But it's been really amazing transitioning, because I'm like, you guys have helped me out so much, you know what I'm saying? You've been amazing, you know what I'm saying, help me out with any questions I had or anything like that. And really, I can't thank you guys enough. So
Yeah, no, we appreciate that, and that's huge to be able to hear that feedback, because we believe in the educational and the Web3 sports space. We believe in helping and giving a helping hand out, and really showing that we can level the playing field and not just have to look for the top male female athletes, because we want to help everybody. And that's really what NIL is about, is paying it forward and helping out athletes of all backgrounds or wherever they're coming from. It's powerful. Speaking on more of that of your career, what is your vision right now, for your career? Do you want to, take it into the next level and playing professionals, or what is your vision so far?
I'm like, to me, I've always wanted to take it to the next level, but really, I think when you have that long-term goal, it's important to focus on the short-term goals too.
Yeah.
I'm like, to get to that, I'm like, I can't overlook the small steps I got to take. Like right now I'm in the off season, so I got to lift, I got to eat, I got to do all the things that are necessary to me to get to that point. And then after that, I can't just skip anything else. I got to do spring ball, we got to do summer workouts. We got to beat our opponents through first week through last week. We got to get as far as possible, because in the end, those end goals can't happen without those short-term goals. And that's just something that my dad's taught me. So I'm like, but like, answer your question though, yes, I do want to go to the next level though, but
I love it. And that's awesome. And what helps you the most, especially in the off season right now? How do you maintain such a disciplined routine, that really helps you achieve those goals long term?
it's just the right people in your life. My teammates, especially like the guy who I live with, his name is Cam Woolery. I'm like, he keeps me disciplined. I'm like, there are obviously days where you're mentally become down. You're like, dang, I want to get out of bed. Netflix just dropped my new show. But then it takes them, they pick you up and they bring you back in that space to where, oh yeah, like for example, like today, I'm like, I didn't want to work out. We worked out twice yesterday. I'm saying, but he's like, come on, you gotta get up. The competition's probably working. You know what I'm saying? You can't be left behind. It's like, you know what? You're right, Cam. So we got up, we did bench and stuff like that. And that's just a small example, but it takes someone like that in your life to really push you and make you the best person you can be, because I'm like, you can go far. Yeah, believe in yourself. But when people believe in you, it just gives you that extra oomph, like,
100%.
yeah.
100%. No, I love that. Has there been any, just to share with our audience, any memorable experience from a game or practice or just anything? So, in the past few years that has really stuck out, that's been, just a memorable story, in general.
Oh yeah, man. One of my favorite stories is when we played, I guess technically they're our rival named Citadel. Our starting quarterback from the last year, he transferred to the other school, and just being in that game, like the announcers are talking about, they have the camera on me and him. I'm talking smack, he's talking smack, but it's all love at the end of the day. I love him so much, but that game and just that atmosphere, because it's a rivalry game. The guy used to play with you, like I was literally like a locker away from him for a minute. I mean, like it just creates such a dynamic and a weird atmosphere. It's one of those things like you dream about happening, like
Right.
you get to play when you're former teammates who's a quarterback on the opposite side of the ball as you.
Yeah.
To me, that's been super crazy. And then even then, just some of the more memorable things, like even like the guys that have come out of this like conference and went to the league. Like one of them was the Patriots, I think he's a center now. His name's Cole Strange. I remember the first year I played him when I first got here. It was my first year playing, rookie, I was a little bigger than 220, but I'm like, he's a dude, and I
Yeah.
played against him. I remember he tried to cut my legs out. And so I was, a stiff arm like the Heisman, all right, I'm about to make a tackle. I'm about to make a play on Cole Strange, right? This dude gets back up, super athletic, chases me down again, and blocks me. I was like, yo, this dude is crazy. But
That's crazy.
it's great though. I get to play against like guys like that, and I feel like iron
Right.
really sharpens iron. So like when I talk about that, I always talk about that's like one of those moments like really defines you. And like after that, I worked playing against those kind of blocks for the next week. So it wouldn't happen to me again. But
That's incredible. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, kind of veering off a little bit, what are some of your hobbies or interests that you do when you do have some free time on your hands that's been, outside of football that you love and you're passionate about?
yeah, I'm really into video editing and stuff like that. I like kind of that kind of aspect with like Photoshop or Final Pro. I like editing stuff like that. I'm really good at chess. Really random fun fact. I won a chess championship my elementary year in elementary school.
That's awesome.
And I like outdoor stuff, like hiking, fishing, all the whole jazz, But yeah.
Have you ever challenged any of your teammates in chess?
Yes. I challenged one of my coaches actually, and he's too scared to play me right now, but I played some of my teammates in chess, but I'm undefeated yet, so
That's awesome. Have you ever done any video edits on your highlights or anything like that? You said you're into video
uh,
editing.
yeah, I have actually some of them. I put some on my Instagram, and then I'll put some on my YouTube, but like I really right now I haven't really like put them out to like the public where I'm like, guys, check this out.
Yeah.
It's been more for myself, like where I like want to make like I want to see like how good I can get, because it's
Right.
really that's what really matters to me. Like I want to see how good I can get, not like I'm proving something, but to where I want to see how far I can take this.
Right. It's a fun activity you want to do and you're passionate about that. And that's
Yeah,
awesome. Man.
exactly.
That's awesome. What about what are some of your goals that you have? We just wrapped up this month of January that flew by. What are some of your goals that you have, both as an athlete and as an individual for this year?
As an athlete, really my goal always at the end of the year is to be the best I can be. I'm like a lot of people have the mindset where, oh, I'm trying to beat the competition. I'm trying to beat that. I feel like that mindset really like it'll kill you in the end because you'll always be comparing yourself to somebody else.
Yeah.
And to me, I want to see how good I can be. I want to see if I can beat myself and how good I was the day before. So each day is always a challenge to see, hey, can I get better from the next day? And people always say that really cliche phrase, but to me that really means something because
100%.
I'm not somebody else. I'm not the guy down the street. I am Chuck Smith. I am going to see if I can get better each and every day.
I love it. No, it's very well said. And then as we kind of wrap up things here, Chuck, we appreciate you being on this podcast. But
Appreciate having me.
if there's three pieces of advice that you could give back to the youth or even just the next generation that looks up to you, what would those three pieces of advice be?
First piece, always have the right circle. I'm like, there's a quote. I forgot where I heard it from, but you show me your circle, I'll show you your future. You keep that right group of people around you, you can really accomplish anything because they believe in you, pushing you. My second piece of advice is you always got to believe in yourself. Like I said earlier, I'm like, if you don't believe in you, who will? It really takes the first person to spark that fire, spark that greatness in you. And that has to be yourself because if you don't believe in you, no one really will, because like that's how it is. And then my third and final piece of advice is just keep working no matter what. I mean, like there are gonna be days where you don't really feel like it. There'll be days where you feel like you just want to relax and stuff like that. But it's really cliche to say, but that mindset it isn't hard to fall into. I'm like, it's really easy. I'm like those days where you're like, I'll do it tomorrow. Well, you got to think there is no tomorrow. I'm like, you have to do the work now. And yeah, those are my three pieces.
I love it. I love it, man. Just to recap what you just said for those three pieces of advice. Number one, you said always have the right circle around you. I've heard a quote as well. That's, if you're the sum of the five people you're around the most.
Yes, that's the quote. That's the one right there.
The quote. No, that's powerful. It really is. Having that circle that's pushing you to grow and be better if you're in a better version of yourself. Number two, you said always believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. I think that's very powerful. And you said lastly, keep working, no matter what. I think it's those days that you want to take off, that those are the ones that matter, to keep pushing and going forward and really grinding it out. That's all well said. And we appreciate those pieces of advice. I love it, man. I love it. Well, Chuck Smith here, go follow him all over social media. Pay attention to his year coming up in the fall. We appreciate you for being on episode number 20 of the next generation of superstars.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.